Good morning, Melissa.
Hi, Tony. How are you?
Just wonderful.
Good.
Chief Hackman. EMA 43.
Oh, geez. Oh,
Second dispatch. Third dispatch.
knock it off.
Fourth dispatch.
Hey, just because I can't get my shoes on real quick anymore.
What happened there, Colin?
Sounds like the hose failed when they were putting it into the tank or whatever.
Mm.
And then they caught it, but there was, I guess it ended up being between 15 and 20 gallons of gasoline down.
Mm.
I'll tell you what, though, I don't know all the, let's call it the physics of that there, but I'll tell you what, if 15 or 20 gallons could get all the way down to where that emptied into that stream, that seemed like a long way for that to travel and still be, noticeable like that. But I don't know, maybe because it floats on the top, I guess. I don't know. Seemed like an awful lot. But the guy claimed that they took that off the ticket, Tony, for the, when they delivered, that there was, like, if he had 1,000 gallons in there, when he was done emptying the tank, it only said
80.
78 or something. So he claimed it was only like 22 gallons, but I don't know. He said they're very accurate because he said they get bitched at all the time, like they get shorted. These companies like Redner's will call and say, hey, you're shorted this by 50 gallons. So he said we have to make sure these gadgets on these trucks are all pretty accurate. So I don't know. Who knows?
Good morning, everyone.
Hey,
Tom, my condolences for your mom. She was a wonderful lady. God rest her soul.
I know she was not doing well at the end there.
Yeah.
It was not nice.
Well, Bill, when your mom's 180 years old, because you're 100 years old, 150 years old, what the hell? What do you expect?
That's right.
I mean, the woman had a great life. She's 180.
Put up with me all the time.
She put up with you for 150 of those years.
There is some truth to that, but we'll let the details out of this.
That's why she lived to 95. She couldn't move on because it was afraid of what Tom would be like.
Yeah, after that. I know. Oh God.
Hey, Woody,
Hello.
how are you?
Just got back from Maryland. Don't tell the governor.
Oh, no, they got rid of that. You're good, John.
I'm good to go.
Yeah, you're good to go. They got rid of that.
Yeah, they got rid of that. We're okay now.
You're okay now. I'm back from Texas, so I'm good too.
Were you down there with those show me what you're doing meetings again, or what was that? Remember that? Oh no, that was in Florida. You went to some place we had to exhibit or something, right?
Yeah, this was a leadership class.
Oh,
Two
geez.
from Western, and it was very good. It was very good.
Well, that we know you need, so you can go to more of those.
Really? I didn't get second and third dispatch to my call out.
Oh, stop it.
Michelle, I ran into some bike riders up in my watershed the other day. They were complaining to me about the horses.
Don't get me started on horses and trail damage, but yeah, I'm sure you got an earful. I heard there's a new loop up there
Yeah, someone put it in,
without permission.
of course.
It's
But-
from the postings I
Yeah,
saw,
I'll
it's a
take one.
pretty big loop, like 8 miles.
Going up, if it's going up on top of the other side, then yeah.
That's some impressive handiwork to be done without permission.
I think they added on and looped it into some other ones that were
Gotcha.
already in existence.
Gotcha. I haven't been up there for a while. I'm overdue.
And I just want to put this out to Chris Hartman. Chris Hartman, I don't know how you deal with that monthly.
I'm about at my wit's end, to be quite frank.
Well, Tony, don't tell me you're up there riding a horse.
Negative. Negative. Well, yeah, it's a horse. It's got a lot of horses, Tom. I think it's got about 180 horses. You know,
Oh,
it's a nice Polaris.
Yeah.
But I keep all the trees off the trails for the bike riders so they don't get hurt.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
I know. I run into guys all the time. I'm like, guys, if you have them, just call down to Borough Hall and let me know. Dr. Facette is phenomenal with that, Michelle.
Calling.
Yeah, well, he calls my personal phone.
Ooh. Do
That's
you,
all right.
Do you not let what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know what the right word is. Volunteers that are, I guess, approved do any type of trail maintenance?
So Bamba contacted me, but really never that dropped off of the face of the earth. And then we'll talk after the meeting. I'll let you know all the other details.
Okay, I got 12:01, so I'll call the meeting of the Fire and Police Committee to order. And roll call, please, Melissa.
Okay. Bill Jenks,
I am here.
Tom Moll,
Here.
Tom Boucher,
Here.
Fred Levering,
Here.
John Woodward,
Here.
and Keith Durr.
Here.
Okay, do we have any public comments as they relate to public safety? Any public comments as they relate to public safety?
I heard you.
Going once, going twice?
So,
Okay,
wow.
no public comments today. And we'll move on to the fire department. Colin.
Good afternoon. For the month of March, there's been 108 responses consisting of 20 fires, 44 medical or motor vehicle accidents, 15 hazardous conditions, 27 alarm activations, and 2 smoke detector installations. Total responses inside the borough 78, outside of the borough 30. Fire damage to date for the month of March is $17,300. Saved property, $41,461,941. That was for 2 incidents. One was a fire at the Inn at Reading, and one was a vehicle fire just this weekend on Penn Avenue where it comes down into the township. Average of 4.7 personnel per call, 7 incidents where we had volunteer response, and to date, we have 331 responses for the year. For the expanded report for February, there was 203 calls consisting of 83 medical or motor vehicle accidents, 120 fire calls. We had fire damage specifically in the borough for a vehicle fire. That was a total loss of $1,650. We gave aid 44 times. We received aid 37 times, 51 overlapping calls. Average dispatch to en route was 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and dispatch to on scene was 7 minutes and 36 seconds. We gave aid to Laureldale 2 times, Western Berks Fire Department 9, Burnville Borough 1, Greenfields Byrne Township 4, West Reading 9, Muhlenberg Township 6, Shillington 1, Kenhurst 1, Cumru Township 8, and the City of Reading 1. That's all I have for my reports. If anybody has any questions.
Hey, Colin, what's the status of the tower?
The tower presently came back the end of last week, I believe Friday. So what they found with the error codes again was additional moisture and corrosion in connection, specifically this time under the turntable. That work was completed. We're currently waiting. While it was there, it had its annual service and everything, obviously, so everything's up in line and ready to go. We did not get the bill for that yet. We're still waiting on some bucket sensors, overload sensors. I spoke to I just spoke to a person to work on an appraisal for it, looking at hopefully the beginning of next week. We can meet up and he can come out and give us an appraisal on the tower. Where we're at currently right now, the week of April 12th will be aerial testing, annual aerial testing. So we're going to get both aerials tested. When that's completed at that point, the ladder truck's going to need to go for service and warranty issues. That's been in service for about 8.5 months and it's ran over 900 calls already. So that needs some work to it. Again, maintenance and also warranty issues that we've discovered since we've been running it and stuff like that. So the tower is going to need to be frontline once that goes up for servicing. And then in the beginning of May, we have pump testing where the ladder truck will need to get pump tested because that's got both components on it. But that's where we're at currently right now.
Okay, so you are scheduled to meet with somebody to see what potential we can get for that.
Correct. But we're gonna, we can get that price and we'll get that squared away in an order, but we're gonna really kind of need the tower probably, I don't know how long the ladder is gonna be out up there initially up front. So looking at hopefully by May or whatever, then we can proceed how you wish.
Okay. Okay. Anybody have anything for Colin? Okay, Colin, thank you.
Thank you.
Western Berks Ambulance, Tony.
Good afternoon, everyone. So two things for us. We had 235 calls for service for the month of February, 450 total. Our dispatch to responding time is 1 minute and 17 seconds, well below our 1 minute and 30 seconds. And our average scene time is 14 minutes. There's been 2 Narcan administrations year to date, and most of the calls down there. We did send a letter over, just, as a little advisory and to think of EMS. I know that the government with the new COVID bill has sent out and has some specifics on what it can be spent on, sewer and water, emergency services, so on and so forth. So we just, remembered we're sending it out to all of our municipalities that, we did respond to about 3,000 confirmed COVID-19 calls with about 6,000 more possible. We've lost COVID to date over $140,000 in billing that we could not recoup because of it was COVID billing. And just if you do, I know Wyomissing's do set for about $1.3 million in there, just to remember us in that.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Any comments for Tony?
Tony, are
So-
you getting any direct funding from any of the stimulus packages?
So we are not getting, we got one direct payment from Medicare for money. We did get the PPP loan that was forgiven. I did put a grant into the Berks CARES Act and we got $100,000 from that. Year to date, COVID to date, we've spent over $250,000 in just supplies because gloves have gone through the roof. We used to get gloves for about $9 a box for a box of about 50 or 100. And now that same box is about $40 a box. Well, but they're not price gouging or anything. I'm sure the Suez Canal thing will bump my gas glove purchases also.
Yeah.
Western has been and Colin could attest, Western has been the forefront of all the services in the county by creating the joint task force, meeting with the fire departments and making sure that they all have stuff. The county did step up and got us some extra disinfectant, but we're still fighting with FEMA to get direct funding for EMS. We were hoping that this last bill would have funding in it specifically for EMS and emergency services. It did not.
So if you would have to net the funding you got, the reimbursements you got versus the lost revenue you had, where would you think you would be net?
We're definitely, and I'd have to look, and I don't know that exact answer right now. I know we're $100,000 from the 300,000 or 400,000. That's not even including the time. We're still working on the time factor of people that were out with COVID.
Hello.
So yes, Mr. Jadick, I believe I can hear you.
I'm sorry, we had an audio issue and I've been saying hello for a long time. We had to relog in several times with Melissa. I apologize, I don't mean to interrupt, but I had a public comment when you're done.
When we are done with all the department reports, we'll come back to you, Mr. Jadick.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you.
I can't hear him. I don't know if there's an audio problem or what.
I can barely hear him.
It's barely here.
So Tony, my only thing, once we get further down the road, you may want to come back with some numbers.
We are. We're working. The problem is
it'd be a lot easier to present if the council's going to consider doing anything.
Oh, absolutely. We're just letting you guys, this is just a preliminary. We're working all the times and figures for FEMA. We'll see where that number actually shakes out to, where our total losses will be for the whole year with everything. But I just wanted to give that. We sent that out as soon as the bill came out to just remind everyone that remember fire and police and EMS in that funding, because we have done an extra lot of it. But I will, Keith. Anything else for me?
Hey, Keith, I think what Tony's doing is right now he has his hand in our front pocket. He hasn't quite gotten around to the back pocket yet.
So, Tony,
I've always
what's
been in the front. I've always been in the front pocket. I just could never get to the back pocket.
I was just trying to understand how deep it has to be.
Again, we figured out there's about $11 million of COVID-19 money in our whole coverage area that is gone out to all the municipalities that we serve. And we just wanted to make sure that, hey, I know that, don't get me wrong, I'm the chairman of the municipal authority down in Birdsboro, and Birdsboro's getting about $500,000, and I know I could spend all of that just on water and sewer. But we do have to remember that, there were a lot of losses for a lot of the other services that had to pay out extra that is going there. And that was just our initial reaction on that. But we'll have more detailed reports once we get to the final number. It's just getting to that final number.
Okay, Tony. Very
So
good.
Tony, how is the whole tower health scheme affecting you, or do you think it will affect you, or do you have any idea?
It's actually not affecting us all. We actually picked up three and a half additional more municipalities that dropped Tower Health to go to us. I suspect that there might be other changes down the road. We have reached out on our dialogue from our board. The board has reached out to talk to them, which I'm not privy to right now, to talk to them. But I really think, in my personal opinion, that they're going to be sold. They're going to be sold probably, I would bet a paycheck on it to UPMC, and it'll go from there. But it's not really affecting us at all. I mean, our volumes are still, we're doing well. They didn't take any of our municipalities over. We actually gained.
I actually saw their, supervisor vehicle for the first time the other day. I haven't seen any ambulances. I just saw a supervisor's car that had Tower Health Emergency Medical Services printed on it.
Yeah, we can no longer technically be called Western Berks EMS because we're now in the eastern part of the county now too, with Amity, Birdsboro, Union, and part of Robinson.
You gotta change the name, Tony.
So does that answer your question, John?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you gonna change your name or?
Anything's up for grabs, anything with it. Again, we're not really Western Berks anymore. We're kind of Berks. I'm sure there'll be some type of talk down the road. We've got to get through the fire first. Thank you for all your updates on all of that and keeping us in the loop to do that. Right now, to bring you up to speed on that, the building is completely empty of all equipment and everything else. It's been gutted to a point. We have to bring a design engineer in just because of the way the building was built on the multiple levels. There's actually 3 roofs in the building. And we can see all 3, and all 3 are shingled still, just so everyone's good on that. We're well protected. We have to bring a design engineer in to go over the building. They believe the first floor will be a complete level 3 restoration. And for all of you that I have no idea what that technically means. The whole second floor was smoke filled, and that's going to have to be cleaned and everything else. So that's where we're at now. But we're moving forward.
Level 3 means ADA compliance.
Michelle, you didn't have to tell me that.
It means what, Michelle?
ADA compliance, mandatory.
We're in trouble then. Because there's no way in heck that building's going to meet ADA. So we'll see where we're going from there. That's all I have. Thanks, guys.
Okay, anybody else have anything?
And
for
ladies.
Tony? Okay, Tony, thank you very much. All righty, we'll move on to the police department. Chief Phillips.
Bill, Chief Phillips is tied up on a call right now. I'll do the best I can do to get this information for you.
Okay.
You probably have seen the chief's report, so if there's any questions, I can relay those back to him, or you can shoot me an email or shoot him an email. Mayor, did you have anything before I brought anything up?
No, I assume you're going to bring up the thing about Tennis Park condominium.
I will try. Yes, sir.
I mean, I'll do the best that I can recollect if you don't want to, but that's the only thing that I was aware of.
Okay.
What's going on with Tennis Park?
Okay, here we go. Chief Phillips got a call from the Tennis Park condos. They're having their lot redone in the beginning of April, and they're asking to be able to park on Cambridge Avenue in the no parking zones. And the chief has looked at the ordinance and believes that he can grant this up for 72 hours under the section 104 of the traffic ordinance. If this is considered an emergency, needing more than 72 hours. I interpret the ordinance as a permit needing to be obtained, as this would be called a special event. Permit requires 60 days notice, but the ordinance does allow me ability to consider the request when the permit is received less than 60 days. I think in this particular case, I would ask that you give the authority to the chief to do whatever he feels safe in that situation.
The chief, based on the knowledge we have of the project, is 72 hours enough?
And I can answer, Chris.
All right, well, we'll start with 72 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with the chief exercising that authority to grant a special parking authorization for 72 hours.
Chris, I issued the zoning permit for the work last week, and it's just repaving. They're not, milling or ripping anything up. So, I mean, they're just going over what's already there. So I would think 72 hours should be sufficient.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, do you want to get permission or?
Okay, do we know? Yeah. Yeah, if we could have a motion on this to grant Chief Phillips permission to extend parking in the no parking zones.
So moved. Second.
Okay, and motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? So be it. Tell the chief to go ahead.
Okay. And also, the supervisor vehicle from the police department was one of two. One of the vehicles was cut out of the capital budget. The other one remained in. They are now ready to purchase that supervisor vehicle. I apologize, I don't have a cost for you. This is one of the larger vehicles. Replaces the current supervisor vehicle, which has high mileage. So we will be requesting to purchase the police supervisor vehicle in accordance with the budgeted figures.
And that's in the budget, correct?
That's correct. That one remains.
We even
All
need a
righty.
motion. Do we need a motion for that?
Yeah,
Well,
we
we've been-
should. I would recommend a motion.
Okay. So
Okay,
moved,
someone
so moved.
make that, okay, second,
Second.
and we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move that on to council for final approval.
Michelle, you don't see any potential funding coming down the line for vehicles, do you?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'll keep my ears open in case anything does come up.
Just in case we hear something before you actually go forward, before we do it.
I will let you know if I hear anything.
Chief Phillips would like to send Sergeant Karstein to training in
Okay.
New Jersey. October 13th to October 15th. He has money in his training budget to do that. So I request approval for the chief to send Sergeant Karstein to training. I'm sorry, but I can't give you a topic.
All right, so moved. It's in the budget. Yep.
Second,
And last but not least, the police department's ballistic armor is replaced on certain intervals. And John, we've got you good for your car. Sergeant Karstein, do you want to go over the vest situation for me?
Sure, I apologize. We are short-staffed today, and I'm helping to deal with a bunch of stuff we got going on. So our vests are, as Mr. Brandenburg stated, are up for a replacement, and I am asking permission to go ahead and do that. We were budgeted, it looks like 23,400 for this year. It looks like to replace everybody that that is due is going to be 21,442.40, and we have approximately $8,000 under the grant for the vests that we would get reimbursed for. So I'm looking to go ahead and start the process of getting the vests replaced for the officers that need that done.
So moved. Second.
Chief, council gave you permission on a motion to, excuse me, fire and police gave you permission on the motion to approve up to 72 hours on that special parking. The only other thing that I didn't know whether you'd gotten any further information, did you see the library email about the special event for the run?
Yeah, I did see that this morning. Again, I've been kind of running
Okay.
out a lot today. The parking, are you talking about it at the tennis park condos?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
They're looking for the full week though. Then that's what my question was. Under the ordinance, it looks like I can have up to 72 hours to grant that permission. Under the ordinance, under special events, I didn't know if we could consider this a special event, and looking at that definition of it, I had her fill out an actual application for the a permit for that type of thing, and I got it back from her today. Excuse me. So they would actually need the full week from Sunday to Friday, because their parking lot is going to be completely ripped up. They're not going to be able to park there. And I was talking with them about bagging the signs on what would be considered I guess the west side of Cambridge, that's on top of or along the building there, that they would be allowed to park there. And then, of course, the overflow on the old mill, which is open to parking, they could do that. But both sides, I think, would get too tight for traffic on Cambridge Avenue. So I was looking to do just the one side that's along the tennis park condos buildings themselves that week.
Okay, now, Michelle, you said that they weren't gonna rip up anything.
That's not, hold on a second.
I was told that they were ripping the parking lot up.
Give me 1 second. I'm just toggling between screens. The permit application says word for word, inlet top repairs and repaving existing lot only. They shouldn't be ripping anything up. So I mean, I can circle back to the property owner / manager.
Maybe that's, I spoke with the vice president of the association, so when they're saying repaving, maybe that's what she thought that they have to do for that. I don't know.
Okay.
But she told me that they had to rip the parking lot up.
Yeah, in any event, if the committee is okay with it, I would recommend another motion authorizing up to a week. That would be Sunday through Friday, and treating this as a special event.
I'll make that motion. Do we have to rescind the other thing, Chris, or what?
Yeah, the motion should be to replace the prior motion and to authorize the Sunday to Friday as a special event.
Okay, second. Do we need to vote?
Yeah, let's have a vote on it.
Is Bill there? I think he muted out or something.
Yeah, I didn't hear a vote on the vest purchase either.
I don't know, where is Bill?
Hold on a second, he's calling me.
Yeah, he's not on.
Yeah, Bill. I just got a call from Bill. He's lost his internet service, so we would need someone else to take over the meeting and continue.
Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, we'll have a motion then to rescind the previous motion on the parking issue and have a motion to let Chief Phillips allow parking up from Sunday through Friday as a special event for Tennis Park. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. And I guess the last one was the purchase of the vest. We had a motion and a second to allow Chief Phillips to purchase the ballistic vests that are due to be replaced in the police department. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 And what is the net on that, John? About 13,000.
I'm sorry?
The net on that's about 13,000 with the 8,000.
Yeah, after we get the refund, yes, we have to lay out the total cost in the beginning, but we'll get refunded 8,000 and change.
That's great. So we're 10,000 ahead on the budget then. Beautiful. Okay.
And I also got another application in on Friday for a run that occurs through the parklands every year. It's the Bradley Mayor Run. They're asking to do it August 14th from 9 a.m. to 12 from the starting at the soccer fields like they normally do and ending there as well, running through the park system.
Who's sponsoring that one?
It's the parents of Bradley Mayer. He took his own life apparently, and it's to raise awareness for suicide prevention and things like that. That one, actually, no, wait, that one might be where he was in a car crash and his father did that then after that. I'm sorry, I'm telling you wrong, but we've had him for the last couple of years doing the runs through there. I talked to him about with COVID and still social distancing and things like that. What they're trying to do is two separate things. They're going to try to do a virtual run prior to where people will go out and run their 3.2 miles and give their times, and then doing staggered starts throughout the day, starting at 9, then 9:30, then 10, and so on. They're not expecting more than 200 people this year for the event. So, and that's to include those that would do the virtual runs as well.
Is that just in the parkland? Do they need police for
No,
that?
it's just the parklands. All we have to do is open up the gates there along Old Wyomissing Road by the Parks Barn, and then down by Roos Bridge, that one gate down there. We open it for them in the morning and close it when they're done.
Okay.
I was just asked council, all of our activities which are occurring in the park this year, we're requesting whoever the sponsor is to provide a COVID response and active plan to the borough for approval prior to the event. I would just ask that any of your motions you include that we require a COVID response plan prior to any events occurring.
Is somebody willing to make that motion?
Including what Pat just said, yes.
Okay, do you have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Ayes have it. Anything else, John?
And the car was one that was good?
Yes.
Okay, then no, I am good.
Okay,
Hey, John, I have a question for you. John Woodward here. How often do you guys have to go to the range to get certified?
We go to the range twice a year.
And do you have any problem getting ammunition?
Yeah, I did. The ammunition that I ordered through our normal supplier, I'm not expecting till next year. We needed some, so I found another supplier in New Jersey that I was able to get training ammo from them. It's not the same that we normally buy, but I was able to get some so that we can get to the range. I got enough for the spring and the fall this year because I'm not expecting what we normally get to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, ammunition's a big deal right now. It's
Yep.
you have to buy it now to get it next year.
people are really hoarding it.
But I heard a stat that I think 23 million guns in excess of what are normally sold were sold last year. So when you consider that, plus that if you even just bought one box of ammunition on top of that, it's, to go shoot that weapon that they bought is, that's a lot. So the manufacturers aren't able to keep up with all the demand between the civilian and all their military and government contracts that they have. They're falling way behind.
Plus, you can't even get shotgun shells.
I mean, anything and everything. You have to order early.
John, if you're looking for a guy, I got a guy.
Okay.
Who said that?
Tucci, I got a guy. I mean, my 5,000 rounds, I think I have enough. I mean,
You got enough to start a war, Tony.
I'm not the only one.
No, you're not. Believe me, you're not. Anything else? Anybody else have anything?
Mr.
Mr.
Mall,
Chairman, can I ask for my 5 minutes?
Well, I was
We're
gonna
not finished yet. I'll let you know.
ask-
Okay.
Hi there, it's Jody. I just had a question for the chief. That's okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my recollection is that you were thinking about removing some of the more specific information, the house numbers from the list of calls.
Yes,
What's the status of that now?
that's how it's being done.
Oh, it is.
Council, when I run the report, you get the report that you always received. What's
Okay.
going on the website, it just removes the actual physical address location. So that, as I explained, if we're going for domestics or say there's a mental health issue at that location, it gives a little bit more privacy to the people that live at that location, that it's out there at the web for anybody in the world to really see. They see that it happens if it was at 123 Penn Avenue, they'll see Penn Avenue instead. That's the only thing that was removed.
Okay, yeah, no, that was my understanding. I just wanted to see if that was happening yet. Okay.
It is, but you as council are getting the same report that you always received.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, Mr. Jade, you're on.
Thank you. Actually, I wanted to address exactly what Sergeant Phillips just talked about. As of March 1st, I noticed that the water report does not, so he confirmed that he knows does not contain the name and address. And I understand the desire for privacy, but that's not what the law is asking for. So I'm going to tell you that, first of all, the right to know law specifically stipulates that blotters or logs are not exempt from disclosure, and refers to the criminal statute, the Pennsylvania statute, to number 18, paragraph 9102, which was on my phone, and now I don't have it anymore because I had to put Zoom on it, which says, in essence, that those police blotters have to have name, address, and not limited to it's that lawyerish expression that says as a minimum, but not limited to name and address. And address does not, I mean, you might as well put Pennsylvania there instead of putting just the street. So I don't think that that's okay. I understand the desire, you know, it's commendable, but I think there is a reason for not doing that. Definitely under the right to know law, you will have to produce that, I guess. So that's just to let you know. I did notice the as of March 1st that happening. I don't know, like I said, I think Mr. Hartman can look more into this, how legal it is.
I will review that issue, Mr. J. I said I will review that issue.
Thank you. So second, I did read the your report from January, Sergeant Phillips, I'm sorry, Chief Phillips, and you know, I don't want to sound in any way off here, but all I can say, I was disappointed because I see myself in that report and the way you portrayed everything, and mainly the Stanley Gracious issue and everything that all the demonstrations that happened, and your claim that you do not discriminate. It's simply not true, sir. With all due respect, you do. And I'll give you a few examples. What you say there, your pie charts are only between Hispanic and non-Hispanic. Well, that's not the only limitation in America. Your pie charts do not show Republicans, Democrats, friends, not friends, rich kids, poor kids. I know some situations when, you know, kids of influential people have gotten away with driving without a license. So you do discriminate, sir. I don't think a black dude will get away with driving without a license. And whatever, I'm not going there, but I know, and we have here some parking signs in front, which are a testimony of your discrimination. And I think that I do appreciate, I have in front of me the conclusion that you wrote, and it's heartfelt. And I appreciate what you say there. And you're asking yourself, why do we do it? What I think you should really do is listen, sir. I think you should listen and understand, because that's how you don't discriminate. When you judge and label, because your officers do just that. And that is where the policing has problems. Passing judgment on people. And not listening and understand. When somebody says, hey, I've been discriminated, you say, okay, well, that was not our intent. Let's sit down and see how we can solve it. That's when you're not a racist. That's when you're not a bigot. That's when you're not a call it whatever. So that is my advice. We put a lot of hope in your being the chief of police, but that report fell short. So that's it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time and I appreciate understanding the technical issues. I really don't know what happened and I apologize for that.
Okay. Anything else? We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Goodbye.
Hey, Michelle. Oh, she jumped off already. Pat, can you have Michelle give me a quick call in my office?
Sure.
Thanks.